Now, IMF World Economy Outlook 2024 report has come out. India's fiscal year 2024 GDP forecast is up by 40 points. IMF has raised India's fiscal year 2024 growth forecast. In fact, the growth forecast expected is around 6.7%. Fiscal year 2025 and 2026 growth forecast is up by 6.5%. I'm joined by Mitali Likore, who's the chief economist and founder of Likore Associates. Mitali, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. We are all expecting this interim budget, and I know that this is just vote on account, but there is a lot of excitement because it will actually give us a glimpse on what direction the government is thinking and what the government's own assessment of the nation's economy is like. But the IMF certainly has more news for us. Break this down for us, explain to us what these numbers mean.
So thanks a lot, first of all, for having me on the show. And yes, definitely all of us have our eyes set on, the interim budget, because even if the interim budget is giving us the vote on account for just 3 months, it still helps us understand what are the priorities for those 3 to 4 months. And, even one quarter can be make or break when it comes to the kind of post-COVID economic recovery that we're seeing, when we're seeing the kind of economic uncertainty that is, prevalent in most of the global economies today because of the global, upheaval that is going on in different economies. So if we look at, the IMF reports, every year the IMF releases its own estimates, and in fact, it revises them twice a year. Based on the outlook of the economy. Now, what they've done is revise their outlook from 6.3% for FY24 to 6.7%, which is actually just a tad bit lower than what they had, said for FY23. So essentially, they said that in 2023-24, India's economy would go up to around 6.3%, and now they've gone to 6.7%. And the main factor which is driving this growth, and I think it should not come as a surprise to any of us, is domestic demand. Because see, we know that any economy, the growth comes from either consumption demand, or it comes from investments, or it comes from government spending, or it comes from net exports. Now, of course, India has also been doing very well on net exports growth, which is a completely different story. But today's numbers really reflect the increase in domestic consumption and domestic demand. And that doesn't just mean consumption expenditure, it also means investments. See, what we are seeing now is that a lot of pent-up demand, which was there pre-COVID and during COVID, people were unsure. They were, deferring their investment decisions. They are going ahead and making those investment decisions. In the last 2 quarters, we've seen that. And now, in the next 2 quarters, we'll start to see the results of those investments solidifying. The production-linked incentive scheme has had a lot to do with that. So I think this set of policy decisions that have come together, especially post-COVID, are driving, this growth now.
Right.